Okie dokie, eggs and pokey. Welcome to Inktology. My name is Joshua Lamb. I am an artist at all kinds of different ranges of my capacity. I do my best to have fun. My live stream every single day starts at a random time, but lately it's kind of around 9 o'clock. Because that's I hope to be done by 11 at the maximum. Even before that, hopefully 10 if I'm fast. Tonight, I don't know how long it's going to last because we're doing a dragon, and dragons take some time to do. Anyways, if this is your first time watching my live stream, please like and subscribe. It's just fun to listen to artists, you know what I mean? So that's why I created this channel, so that you can have something to listen to and see someone draw, and you can chit chat. You can join my Discord. You can join my Patreon, where I put tutorials on there for free for some people. And if you want more stuff out of it, you can definitely, jump the tiers and stuff. Anywho, tonight's recommendation comes from I guess, I don't know what you call it, another artist who joins my channel called Yukori Odyssey. And he, I don't know, says they want to see Zmei. It's gonna be Zmei. Hey, Randy. Welcome to tonight. Wednesday night, not Thursday night. I get my days all mixed up. Tonight's gonna be fun. Gonna do some dragon stuff. Dragons are always cool. I love me some dragon. Actually, I had a cool dragon drawing. I had colored, but I don't know where it's at. Hold on. I kind of happy to be drawn because I spent all day doing my taxes still. It's been taking me 3 months to do my taxes. I'm not proud of it. Not proud of it at all. I hate taxes. I hate numbers. Don't like it. How's your day going, Randy? Anything fun? Anything new? Any cool drawings? Question is, where is my zoom out here? I'm still zoomed in on this, I guess. That's what it is. Sorry, guys. TF, what's up? What's up? Doing any new live streams soon? Dragon drawings are, I don't imagine many people do attempt them because they are pretty intense, because dragons have so much detail to them, but I love some detail. Excuse me if I burp a little bit here and there. I have been started drinking this really nice beer tonight instead of wine because, wine just doesn't give me the buzz I'm looking for. Ooh, tomorrow. Exciting. Good. I love your live streams. I'm always excited when I see them and catch them. They're fun. Very, very cool beans. Okay, so question is, where did my pencil sharpener and all my utensils go? That is the question of the day. Why do I keep things organized? Oh, there we go. Found you. Wait a minute. Where's my box to shave my grinder stuff in? Oh, my wife must have moved it. Man, that's some poop. Okay, give me a millisecond. Let me... Oh, man, yeah. I'm a detail junkie. Hey, at least you drew today, Randy. That's rad, I'm happy that you drew. It's how hard it is for me to even just sit down and do this. That's why I do this live stream, because it forces me to sit down and, actually do something with my drawing career. And, it's helping me kind of figure out how to move faster again and kind of be creative on the spot. What it doesn't do is allow me time to sit and slowly detail. Because if I slowly detail like I do, this channel would be so boring, I feel like. So, I think it's pretty impressive that you drew period. So As for references, there I don't think you'll ever stop. I don't think you should ever actually stop using references. References are an infinite way to continue to grow, and you always want to keep growing. So I honestly, I wouldn't stop. I would never stop using references. I use references every single day when I draw. Unless I'm doing something like kind of just doodling, out of my mind. But if I need to really put a piece together, I'm gonna reference for sure. I'm trying to find some music. Have some music tonight. Man, this says it's copyright free. You better not jack with me. Okay, it says it's good. What the crud was that? Okay. Hey, Frozzy. Thanks. I promise to keep the Friolas chilled in the lives. Playing some polka? I'll have to find chill polka. Polka's pretty intense. I mean, this is Slavic dragon, so maybe I could find some Slavic music, maybe? Copyright Slavic music. What does that sound like? Copyright free Slavic music. Let's see. Is there even such a thing? Oh, dang, there actually is. I don't believe that. That is great. All right, we're doing it. I hope I don't get run down for it. If it gets taken down, I'll be pissed, but let's hope not. Okay, let's start drawing. Let's have fun. I've got some dragon music right here. This is like when knights go out and kind of jolly on their way to before they kill the dragon and it gets all intense. I really don't know where my grinder box is. We're going to cut this. Oh, Joshua. Hold on. I got to create a little box real quick to... I need a knife. Where's my knife? Someone is moving all my stuff. I'm not happy about this. Where's my blade? Golly. Okay. Back up. And you're like, what are you doing, Josh? Well, what I'm doing is creating a place to do this. Hey, Chris Maycock. What's up? Welcome to the live stream. Glad you're oh man, CJ, what am I? Ooh, magic. You're right. There's a ghost in here. I kind of wish I had a ghost. I wish, because then I could kind of verify that ghosts are more real than not, which I kind of believe in ghosts, but I would like to have a ghost just so I can kind of chat with them about certain things if I could. A lot of questions. A lot of questions. Okay, how's this music? A little intense? Let's move it forward. Maybe that goes a little bit better. Druids. Ooh, that's crazy weird. All right, so I got to figure out what I'm going to do with this is a three-headed dragon, but I don't want to just set the dragon in the center of the page. I think doing that's going to give me a kind of just a too structured of a vibe. TF, you know, I could do a lot of things, but don't get smart with me, young man. Um, I don't have a trash can in this entire room. Oh, okay, I lied. I do have one right here beside me. I just created one out of a cardboard box today. Darn. You got me. You got me. Okay, you got me on that one. Well, now I just feel stupid. Okay, whatever. All right, well, we got to figure out a pose for this dragon. That's the worst, is finding a pose, because... So what I'm going to do is his head should go no higher than here. You guys can't see. Let me turn down this light real quick. There we go. So it shouldn't go higher than here. And his feet, or his tail, I imagine his tail wrapping around shouldn't be going lower than here. So one head, two head, maybe a middle head, kind of one head, two head, three head? Nah. So we're going to do... So I'm going to draw squares right now with a 2H. I'm using a 2H Rembrandt pencil. I think I got these pencils when I was in Spain. I don't remember where I got them. We got one here. So this is a three-headed dragon, Zmei. Zmei. I don't know how to say the name. There you go. A little bit more. Okay, right now you're not going to see much because it's kind of bright. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Third head, I kind of want facing this direction. Okay. And you can see here. I'll just do this. I'll make it a little bit darker. You know what? I'll just make dark lines. It's fine. So we got one head here. A sideways head here. So I think that'd be pretty dope. Let's see. Okay. How did I just break my pencil? What did I hit? Okay, and then the third one, I want the head on the ground. I want it to be chopped off. I think it would just be cool to have a chopped off head, as if these... I'm gonna have little knights and stuff fighting this thing. And I don't know how they would chop off a head, because like no sword is going to slice through the neck of a dragon this big. But let's just assume maybe a cannon. We'll draw a little cannon that blows it up. And the head's fallen, but I want the head to still have like some soldiers in its mouth, which would be cool. You know, detail. Detail, baby. Detail. And we'll see. So... So that's what we got. Why is the light so bright over here? A ballista. There you go. A ballista. You know, you guys are so smart. I feel like an idiot when I say things because I just don't have the vocabulary. You go! We're doing your recommendation tonight. Zmei. I did some video watching of what a Zmei dragon is. In the Slavic sense and like Russian sense and stuff. Not enough information. There's not really a heavy amount of information on this dragon. It's used a lot, but then it's portrayed in different ways, so it's kind of hard to get to like which one's the right info. And then I AI chat GTP'd info on it, and it gave me a good amount, but I don't know if I can trust it because I can't compare it to much literature. You know? Anyways. We're gonna give it a go. My neck is killing me looking at the computer sideways. So we're gonna just draw. I'm gonna draw the form right now, and then I'm gonna have fun. And my freaking neck. The cartoon? No, I haven't seen the cartoon. I've watched the movie. I just learned that they even had a cartoon when the movie came out. I found out they had a cartoon. Very sad. So hold on. Let me figure out where the body's gonna go here. We're gonna kind of pose. He's got to be an aggressive pose. So how do I want to do this? Okay. I was kind of worried. I was like, I'm gonna. I have to watercolor this, and that's kind of going to be the main issue. Drawing it's not the issue. Watercoloring this bad boy is going to be the issue. But I was like, should I be simple, make it like a kind of a cartoony vibe in order to protect myself from doing a terrible job watercoloring it? And then I thought, you know what? Nah, let's just go full detail and see what detail looks like with the watercolor. And then we'll go from there because, I've never done a high detailed watercolor, so I'm kind of curious what that would look like. Okay, so there we go. We got some noodles on the page, looking noodly. And I kind of want to do 3 different dragon head styles. I want to go one really hardcore shell-like scale, kind of a demon look, right? Then I want to go more of a Leviathan water-esque look, because I heard that the Zmei, I'm going to call it Zmei. The dragon has, the heads represent 3 different, maybe even like mentalities of thought, right? But then I also heard one that said it might represent fire, earth, and water. So, I might just go with that theme, is a fire dragon head, which is more of a shelled protected skull. And then you have a water head that's got more of a liquidy fluid thing to it. And then you have an earthy one, which is more of a square, kind of a rough rock style vibe to it. Anyways, I got to get the body built out because otherwise this is going to turn into junk. So his main head, the center head, is what I'm going to be following. If this is the center neck line, I'm going to come down and I'm going to shrink down the body. The body should be much smaller than the head. I mean, not much smaller, but within the range. So the reason why I'm going to have to make it smaller slightly is because of the perspective I'm trying to go for. So the chest should be pretty solid chest. Let's do widen it. Let's give it some arms. So the question was whether or not, in my head when I was drawing this, was like, am I going to do the Game of Thrones style where the arms would be attached to the wing? But I don't like that because honestly, I like the fact that they have arms that are separate from wings, so they can pick up people and chunk them while they're still flying, and pick up like animals and lambs in the field and jazz like that. This music is not doing it for me. You got anything better over here, buddy? Ooh, there we go. There's gotta be a copyright. I like Viking movie. You know what? Copyright. Viking. There we go. Nordic Viking music. Warriors was royalty free. Are you though? Are you? No. You're not copyright free. There we go. See what the comments say. You always have to read the comments because they're like, hey, this is trash, you're lying. Okay, there we go. Let's get intense. Mr. Chu, welcome to the Dragon. That's one of the things I was wondering was where's the 4th element of wind, You're right, TF. It is. So, but when you look at the drawings of the dragons with their arms separated from the wings only have these like claws, like they're like one big claw in a sense, instead of a having hands attached to it. So then you wonder like how far of like control do they have on that wing, you know? But I mean, you're right. I think they are kind of like this one big an extension. So, anyways, let's get back to doing this. You guys ever gone to the Renaissance Festival? I'm a big fan of the Renaissance Festival. I used to go into Texas, and I love it. I just love when people like dress up and have fun, don't care what other people say, and just play out these roles of like an alternate life that they wanted to live as like knights or you know, or whatever. I just think it's so bad to the bone. I'm a big nerd, and only in that fashion of wanting to like, you know, act like a knight for a couple of days at a festival. Let's bring this arm back out here. Let's bring out some muscles here. Going. Dude, that would be so cool to see people in Wales throwing down with knight outfits. Oh my gosh. I would totally. That's just so cool. I did one time I went to an anime convention with my friends, and because I was the only Asian in my group of friends, they made me do LARPing. I don't know if you guys know what LARPing is, live action role playing as a samurai. And I've never I've never used a sword in my life. I mean, I collect them. I never used it in like a battle. And they made me fight this freaking guy, this dude. That's rad, Yuko. Yeah, if you ever get a chance to go, you should go. It's super cool. But I ended up it was one of the best battles they saw because I wouldn't let that dude beat me down. I mean, he won. He got me right at the last end. I took off his arms, and almost had him, but he was bigger. He was a football player, friggin' huge. My reach wasn't as long as his. His sword got me right in the throat. No, it got me in the... Yeah, it got me in the throat. Man. Could have won it all. Lots of fun. Hind legs. These have hind legs, yeah, so we're going to do that. Okay. So you can see I'm kind of jumping around right now. I could have had that trophy, man. So what happened was he was no one wanted to battle him whenever they're doing the call. It was kind of like this weird like ring of people, a whole bunch of people chanting, and there's a center ring, kind of like if you're going to do a brawl with somebody. And this one kid went up and he was acting all like a ninja. He was like really cool. And then there's the other guy was just trying to play LARPing and fight. And the whole idea is when you get hit with your arm, you have to take away your arm, right? Because you got it chopped off technically in the LARPing sense. If you got chopped in the leg, you'd have to kneel and fight that way and such. So when it got this other dude who got his name called because he put his name in or something, he was this huge football player looking dude. And no one wanted to like jump in the ring with him, and they called the names out of the next people, but the next people didn't even they didn't budge. But my buddy Josh, he pushed me into the ring as if I was supposed to be like the next dude, but I didn't sign up for this. I was just watching. I was a spectator. He pushed me into the ring, and next thing you know, everyone's chanting like yeah. I'm looking around. I'm like sweating at that point. I'm like, what the hell just happened? Freaking out. And so he. And, and I looked at my buddies that were there, and they're just like, yeah, do it, Josh. And I was like, you piece. And then they threw this like foam sword at me, but the foam sword was pretty hard. It wasn't like a soft foam. It was like a solid, hard foam. And so I was like, oh boy, here we go. And Yeah, he definitely sacrificed me. It was not cool. And I went in there, so then I was thinking, okay, well, what am I? I can't pansy out, like I just can't do it. I have to do this, and so in which, man, it was terrifying. I still remember the emotions I went through, and then we went and we were circling each other. Me and this guy were fun, like fight, round one, Street Fighter mode. And I went and I had the sword in the katana style, and he came slicing. I blocked it. He got me right in the arm, so I had to take away an arm right away, and I was like, darn, I'm screwed. Okay, so I've got one arm back, and we're hitting, and he comes and he swings and he misses, and I chop him right at the knee. So then he has to kneel, right? So I'm like, all right, I got you you can't move. What are you going to do without like walking around? I've got you. And then he pops up on that one foot and he's hopping around. I'm like, screwed. I'm like, he's going to hop. Darn it. And then we start to battle. We hit, block, hit. He swings. I duck. I throw it at his arm. He dodges it like just by an inch. And then I go in for a thrust, and he moves back. He hops back, and then he comes in straight forward and almost slices my face. And I dodge it with my, by like moving my head back. And then we both like kind of see this opening at each other, and we just at the same time thrust our swords right at each other at our face. We were just gonna take out each other's face. We didn't even go for the chest or anything. And the problem was I went for his throat, and he went for my throat because that's about the eye level or whatever. But he got me like he was longer. He had a longer reach, and his reach was about that much longer than mine, and it got me right in the throat. And mine, we had to stand still, and everybody's like, oh, because mine was just a few inches away from his face, but we were at the exact same time, and then. I was like, crap, he got me. So, he did good, though. He battled better than I think anyone else, and everybody was, it was one of those moments, really fun. It was really cool. Everyone was really supportive of it, and I got to find out where the wings are at. The wings are here. Anyways, I would never do that again because it was so embarrassing. I mean, like, it was so scary. It was like, it felt like real life if I was really fighting some dude, maybe if I had more friends that did that kind of stuff, but my friends are kind of like, they'd rather throw me into the fire than have me like join in and actually do fun stuff like that. And now that I'm too old to do it, I can't really, I'm not too old, but I just, I verge on the line of weird. I'd love to try it though. Maybe I would try it one more day, one more time somewhere else. Hey, so how many of these like stints? Is it 1, 2? Is it 4 lines? How many lines is it that dragons have on their wings? Yeah, at least I got his knee. Obviously he didn't need that. Let's do this. 1, 2. 3. I drew this one already, so might as well do 4, 5. Let's do 5, like fingers, like you said, it's a hand, so we'll do 5. Yeah, I'm a big fan of conventions and comic book conventions and anime conventions. I think I feel at home around those people because I'm a weird, awkward nerd too. A lot of people don't think it because, don't look it, I guess you would say. But if I could spend all my time at a comic book store just talking about nerdy stuff, I would do it. But I nerd out more on religious stuff, actually, because religious stuff is kind of like a comic book to me. I mean, I know people take it as their serious religion, but I would, even if I was raised in the church and stuff, I never took it as like 100% fact everything because I was like, there's way too much like leviathans and giants and Nephilim and angels and demons. Like, come on, guys. Like, some of this is a little bit exaggerated since we've never seen it in real life kind of thing. So it's kind of like my comic book. That's why I like doing mythology and kind of lore of this kind of stuff. And that's why this dragon's going to be dope because dragons are dragons, No, I mean, I think anime conventions are cool. I think it'd be weird if you dressed up like in a doll outfit in like as a female character, as a 50-year-old wearing a wig and then dance with a whole bunch of little kids and acted like you were part of their group. That would be weird, which I have seen. It's awkward. Um, so I do K-pop conventions because I used to film K-pop artists back when I was in Korea, and when I do K-pop conventions now here in the States, one called K-Con, and I'll admit there are some weird older men that should not be there. No, shouldn't be there. Shouldn't be wearing what they're wearing at least, and doing what they're doing amongst young kids. That's definitely for sure. But I think if you're reasonably intelligent, and you don't do that kind of stuff, you'll be fine. I mean, there's a lot of old people that go to these things because they're fans of the artist, they're fans of the culture that they grew up with and stuff, and I totally respect that. And but when you're being a little bit creepy, that's no bueno. Oh man, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of weird, creepy people, lonely people, in that sense. Yeah, no, I would totally be bringing my kids places, and I would totally be. I mean, if I get the older I get, the more I can dress up like an older Sifus and kung fu masters and cool characters like that, and play out. Because kids want to see older people live out these kind of things too, because it also encourages them that they're not going to grow up to be weird as themselves. You know what I mean? So it's highly encouraged. Pigarza, welcome. Oh, my neck is killing me. I gotta fix this table thing. Maybe I can't play my music if I do that. You guys give me a millisecond. Because I need this music on my phone, epic medieval and fantasy stuff. Golly. I want to do the live stream on my phone so I can read your messages instead of having to turn my head left to look at my computer, which is brutally painful. There we go. Oh, ho, ho. My drawing's upside down? Is it really? No. Yeah, that's how talented I am. I draw upside down. No, my computer is to my left here, like that direction. So every time I get a message, I have to turn and look at it that way. And my music is over here to my right. So I'm just going to swap it around. Once I figure out how to do so. YouTube, medieval music. Of course I can't find it now, obviously. Royalty free. Is the music okay? Is it too loud? Hey TF, thanks for joining, and have fun. Enjoy yourself. Okay, so here we go. Much better. All right, so we have his body coming together. I should draw his legs here. His tail should be coming down, be part of the body, be thicko tail. No. Oh, nice. That's what I want. I want people to draw while they listen, and you know, drawing together is a very fun thing. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that you guys think the music's okay. I'm hitting my lamp. So, gotta have some guys here. I'm gonna draw. Get that going. A little technique for proportions. Just let you guys know. If you see here at the bottom, I drew some little men and stuff. Doesn't really matter the size of them, you know, unless you really want to make them a full-size dude and stuff. But I'm trying to make them a little bit smaller, so there's a whole bunch of them. But one of the tricks to make it like easier for proportion is to draw their bodies in a. Let me show you. Draw them in a. Where's my marker? Graphic pen. Here we go. So you could just do the head, right? And let's say I was going to do a knight kind of throwing up his arms. You would do the triangle body, right? A little bit. And then legs would go to a point. Like that. You wouldn't draw the feet or anything. And this would allow you a little bit more proportion control. What is that? Okay. Proportion control, I found. Right. So that way you don't, because if you try to go in and draw if you do the leg like this and like this, I find that it distracts you, and you know you've got all these different angles now you have to work with. But if you just do the triangle and out, and then come to a point on the feet coming to a point, and the arms going to a point, it's easier to work afterwards and add the proportions a little bit more accurately to that. So that's one of my techniques that I do. That I always come to a point. Yeah. I don't know if that makes sense, but you know what I mean. You guys know what I'm talking about. Okay. So I think we have the wings here. We have his muscles. Oh, I don't have his leg. Let's have him coming over a mountain top. So let's add a rock right here. His thumbs. Oh, thank you. Technology. Glad you guys found it somewhat helpful. This music's so intense. Slow down, guy. Yeah, I'm always like trying to figure out better techniques because the school teaches you one thing, and then I watch a lot of artists that have other techniques, and I pulled this one from an anime artist, I think it was, and oh yeah, for sure. Actually, the smaller the object gets, right, the less you detail it. The reason why is because, for one, you don't have to. There's not enough room on the page to actually detail it. So you want the eyes to just understand what it is. That's why when you see comic books, when they have people in the background or people in the foreground that are just like side characters, they don't detail them at all. They hardly even do eyeballs and stuff. They just, because you need to be focused on what the main purpose of the page is. But since I'm a detail artist, the way I'm going to probably do that is. That is a good question. I will do chainmail because chainmail is cool. Yeah, I guess you're right. That is, I'll get to that soon then. But I just want to get his body layout first. I think I'm messing up on his tail. I want the tail to be crushing this one dude here already. It's fun. And gotta have the spikes. And they have to be proportionate. Coming around. But they have to get smaller. Okay. And then we'll have one here. Let's see. The neck of one. Okay, so let's erase some of this. This one's going to be the water part. This one's going to be the main fire one. And this one's going to be the earth one. Earth one didn't survive. Yeah, chainmail is the staple armor for sure. And the best looking stuff. Because once you detail chainmail, no matter if it's like accurate or not, it just looks good. Okay, so let's give shadow. Shadow lines here. Coming down. My shadow lines always tell me where I don't have to draw anything. I can skip it. And I can go straight to more important detailing elsewhere. So I kind of create shadow lines based off of just my thought or what is accurate toward the lighting situation. His neck is way too big here, so he's gonna have one neck here, one neck start here, one's here. And this should come down further. So let's give it a roundature. Let's give it a nice big roar. Tongue. And the eyes should be tiny, itty bitty eyes. No, that doesn't look evil enough. We'll figure out what that goes to. Goat looking dragon? Yeah. That's what I'm going for. I'm going for like these horns to just kind of be like throwing themselves out there. Kind of want a jawline to kind of show the fire behind it. Kind of like gills maybe even. I probably should save the gill effect towards the Leviathan dragon. Well, I gotta make him look angrier. This is not right. It looks like a puppy dragon. So I learned from like not Game of Thrones. What is the name of it? Final Fantasy. The location of the eyeballs for dragons and many other creatures too changes the vibe of them altogether. The further back, like let's say I did the dragon's eyes way back here. You'd have this very Asianist, well, because he has Asian eyes, but okay. He would have a like more of an Asian dragon's look, but if you do like something up close here, his eyes right here, you have more of like this thick, angry, kind of more muscular look to the dragons, and they shift it back and forth. So you just place the eye at different locations to to give it a whole different dragon look. And they did with that Bahamut in Final Fantasy. I don't know if you guys played Final Fantasy, but I like the way they did that. So, okay. All right, now for this guy's head. Let's give like this water vibe to it. Should be smooth. Yeah, like a snapping turtle, and that's like, it's really dope. But once you put the details in it, it's going to be like fantastic. So let's see. This guy, the water one should be smoother because he's liquid. You know, he's got this like. Looks like a freaking camel already. Darn it. Okay, well, he's a camel dragon, looks like. Feet. Draw the bottom of the foot first is what I find to do, so... let's say I have, you know, the guy's legs like this. He's coming back like this. Now the issue would be like, how do I place his foot? If you do this, he usually gives you a place to where you can go, okay, or like that. You know what I mean? That's what I do. I cannot swear to you that that works on every time. Many people, no idea. I do almonds for their feet. But I would say there's a lot of comic book artists that kind of do a really good job of doing feet. You know, I'm not the best at feet. That's not my. I struggle with feet more than you could ever imagine. I try to avoid drawing feet altogether, you know? Let's see. So, let's do... Let's get his jawline way back here. Let's give him... Oof, this dragon's coming out gross looking. He's looking really goofy. Redesign. Yeah, they're tough. They're just naturally just the, because they have so many shadows and angles to them, and there's like, you know, 1 2 3 1 2 3, and then you have this part here that has to be separated in this. And for feet, it's even more weird because, you know, we never really look at our feet in that fashion, I guess, to study them. Hands we can see and kind of work with it right on the spot, but let's draw this line. It's going to drive me nuts if I don't do this line. Yeah, well, welcome to the club, buddy. Randy, Because we all suck at drawing people. They're the hardest thing ever. Us humans, we're difficult. We are difficult. So he's looking at this guy. He's supposed to be pissed off that this guy's head just got ripped off. He's going to be having some soldiers in his mouth. Some fire's going to be dripping out of his mouth, like burning some dude down here. And this tail will be crushing a few guys. It should be pretty darn epic of a detailed drawing. I know, right? This music really gets the fantasy vibe going, doesn't it? It's doing its job. That's what I needed to do. Okay, well, this one's looking good. We need to do the whole like sea creature vibe here. There we go. Okay, he's got a little bit of more of these gills kind of work out. For this dude here, let's give him more spikes. Fire and spikes. That's what is your favorite dragon? How about that, you guys? What's your favorite style of dragon? Do you like the water leviathan? Do you like the Chinese dragon? Do you like the Slavic or the the medieval style dragons? Like, or any movie that you saw a dragon and you're like, dude, this is the coolest dragon ever? I would like to know just so I can have reference. Snappo, the toddy one. This one here, that's what we'll name him. That's what it is. Snappy. I like that. The toddy one. I like that. That's fun. Snappy. You guys can name my dragons for all I care. Slavic ones, yeah. Slavics are pretty freaking dope. I mean, they're very popular. Like they've got so much range with them. Nah, slaying them for the king for sure. That's exactly what's happening. Maybe that's what I should do. I should do the king guy right here and be like, no, maybe that's what I'll do. I think I made their necks too long, too thick, too much girth there. So we're gonna slim that up a little bit. Throw down a smaller neck. Get this. There we go. That's a better size. I guess tonight's going to be a long one. 'Cause there's a lot of work to do. Oh man, his neck is still too big. What's going on here? Josh, come on. I know you like biblical reference. The way to describe dragons is pretty crazy. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that the way they describe God and even angels are often considered serpents and dragons. This is considered a serpent technically. In the lore, it's not even considered like a dinosaur or anything like that. It's more of a serpent creature. But ancient text of Hebrew is often translated into serpent, flaming serpents, which is very cool. But it gets replaced with other words like Leviathan and stuff like that through translations and stuff. But I follow this one gentleman who's on YouTube. He does a study on all the ancient texts and stuff, and the way he describes it is like all these words do translate into serpents and fiery dragon serpents and stuff. Angels are considered that way. Not even demons. Demons aren't really considered that stuff. Kind of funny. So I would love to do Leviathan one day biblically. I kind of got an idea what I would do. I don't know if it'd be that terrifying, Let's shade this in real quick so I don't start detailing where I shouldn't. Okay. Maybe I should have the princess ripped in half out of the mouth of the earth dragon. That might be pretty dope. Gonna have his tongue hanging out, laying on the ground. Let's see. It's gonna be kind of a gruesome. I don't know. Maybe the princess in the hand of the dragon. Yeah. So we can have the princess be like. I don't know how to draw a princess like this. I have to redo that. It looks like Loki just got kidnapped. Oh, hold on, my phone's trying to tell me to go to sleep. No, you go to sleep. Okay. And this should be shadowed up as well. Leia vibes. Heck yeah. With the chain around her and stuff. Hot. Okay. Guys, give me half a second. I do need to use the restroom for a millisecond. I apologize. I hope you keep it drawing right now. I'll be back in less than 2 minutes. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I am right back. Oh gosh, sorry. I've been drinking a lot of water today to trying to get my muscles not be so tense, and well, that's the effect of it. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. I feel better. Whew, I've been holding it. All right, time to sharpen the pencil in my makeshift ashtray that TF told me I probably should use a trash can, which he's probably right. Instead of wasting a well paid for container. Okay, so how does the head get chopped off? Probably a cannon. So I need to draw a cannon right down here. Got some smoke going. Okay, a little old school thing, maybe some backdrop. Have a gentleman lighting the sucker. Wind's gonna blow back his skirt thing or whatever it is. There we go. He's looking good. Boom. Shot it off. Okay. This guy's kind of big then. Shrink him down a little bit. Have a guy helping this dude up because he just got crushed. He's like, dude, no. This is the main hero, I guess. What did you say, Randy? Let's see what you said. Oh, why is this thing not letting me see your words? It says the princess actually cut the first head off, but wasn't paying attention and got caught. Now everyone is paying for it. Ooh, nice. So how did she cut off the head, though? I just drew the cannon, though, unfortunately. Maybe I can draw her holding a chain, holding the neck of the fire dragon, and she was trying to tame it or something. Magic. Ooh, I do like the magic. Magic's not a bad idea. It's good. It's good. It's good. Well, then the cannon would have to be firing right at his shoulder, so the shoulder blade would have to be kind of broken through, maybe. Gonna have some pieces, and then the ball right here kind of blasting through. That way, the lore. I mean, I don't want to erase this guy. I like cannon guys. But the princess maybe used the fire from this guy to burn through his neck, or... It's good. I'm trying to think. Like it was blasted with the flame, so the cut off part is also burning. Okay, that's what I'll do. I'll have her kind of doing this maneuver where she's controlling the fire from the dragon here. And so this has been smoking. We'll do some syringe kind of flames. It's on fire. So it's been so the neck would then need to be still kind of falling. And it would be smoking or on fire. And we have a little bit of smoke coming, pluming from it. This is gonna get so detailed. Oh my gosh. I can already see how detailed it is. But it's gonna be one hell of a story though. That's for sure. And then we'll have Princess here. I should have drew this dress. Actually, I should erase all of this. Draw the princess last, because it's kind of hard. But I will need to put the magic in there so it looks like there's a... And the magic should be pushing. This is going to be so hard to watercolor. What are you guys doing to me? What are y'all thinking? I went for simple-ish because I didn't want to watercolor the hell out of this thing, but I guess now it's going to be like a whole thing. Golly, guys. Making my life hard. Okay, well, let's draw. Let's finish the fire here so that way people know that this is being ripped. And then, yeah, well, you're laughing. I'm not laughing. This is going to be hard. I don't know what the heck I'm going to do. Veins, a couple of veins here, kind of spewing out. Take it one step at a time. You take it one step at a time. I'm just kidding. It's gonna be hard. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Gee whiz. I'm just kidding. It should be fun. Either way, it should be very fun. I don't hate y'all yet. We'll see how hard it gets whenever I start actually having to watercolor, because that's really where my stress will come in. Inking it is going to be great. It's going to be fun. I think tomorrow I'll be able to ink it, because tonight I'm going to really draw. Finish watching some House of the Dragon and draw this out and do some more of my taxes, and then detail this off camera, because this is a lot of work. This is a buttload of work. So just to let you guys know, for like the princess and some of these other characters, what I'm going to do is probably take references. And since I don't have the ability to use a reference right now, I'll have to use on my computer later on my iPad to like pull up some references. And I'm just gonna see how other people draw knights, and that's it. And I'm just gonna place those characters in my thing in different, like, reposition them a little bit. But that way I can have like a squad of dudes like trying to like have this battle. You know? So that way tomorrow... Ooh, that tongue does not look right. What's up? No? Need something? Okay. Let's put the tongue out to the side. And then do one more gill section here. Because he's about to eat these dudes up. You can always take colored pencils as the tricky part later on. I could do colored pencils. But you threw the challenge out to do watercolor, and I am curious what watercolor would look like in a situation like this. Because what's cool is I have earth, fire, and water, so I might be able to play with the colors a little bit and like have this really retro vibe going. I don't know, maybe I'll just make it all one tone though. Sorry, burping a lot because I'm drinking beer, and it's what beer does to me. So we'll see. I'm gonna research some really cool watercolor serpents and dragons and see what kind of colors they use and how they do it. And I'll probably take reference from them on like color schemes that I probably would want to use and stuff. So we will definitely see. Okay, so far so good. So far so good. He's looking good. Now I gotta do Earth Dragon. What is Earth Dragon? His face should be probably a little bit more blocky, more squarish. I'm gonna tilt the paper this way so I can see. Let's give him big nostrils. Let's give my shape in place. Maybe a bolder head. Kind of. Spike should be more stunted, not so big. I think, or for some reason I feel like it's more of a smaller bowl style horn. Maybe for like ramming, you know what I mean? And then yeah. Give him a sharp jaw. Kind of a pit bull looking vibe going on. Jaw should be displaced, maybe like lowered, so it's not like 100% connected in a sense, because he just got jacked up. Let's give him 2 horns on his nose. Suits an Earth Dragon. It sure does. Let's give broken horns. Maybe not. Maybe just 1 broken horn. I don't like the snapping turtle mouth. Let's see. Jaw should be broken, but his teeth should have some people inside. So let's have some body parts. There's a dude just completely messed up. A knight eaten. Stuck in, you know what? His one tooth is just stuck through one dude. How about that? That's dope. Yeah. His tongue needs to be laying flat. Dead. Okay. And then it's kind of hard to see this way. Let's see this way. Friendby the curious. Got too curious and got his head blown off. Friendby. Yeah, I wonder why they chose that head to blow off first. Maybe, yeah, maybe, I don't know. Maybe he was curious. Orcish looking dragon. Yeah, I love some orcs. Have this guy hunched over. He's like, oh, screwed over. Yeah. Throwing a double chin with horns on it. Yeah, it's looking good. All right, all right, all right. Okay. Let's throw some shadows so I know what I'm doing later. Okay, we'll just have a whole bunch of blood here. A little bit of blood here. Thanks. I think it's coming out all right. I think I'm really horny. Detailed around his lips like they've been cracked like an earth. You know, you gotta give those vibes. Okay, and he died like a Chad. He did. Like a Chad. How funny. I haven't heard that in so long. Last time I heard a Chad was that movie Oh, Charlie's Angels. Remember the old Charlie's Angels movie? Drew Barrymore's character was dating a guy named Chad. He's like, you don't look. It was Green, something Green. What's his name? The actor. My bum is on the rail. My bum is on the rail. That dude. I forget the guy's name, but he's like, is it the Chad? She's like, it's not the Chad. He's like, it's the Chad. He's like, it's totally the Chad. And he jumps in the water. So funny. Something Green. His last name is Green or something, right? Super controversial back in the day because he was so like kind of perverted wise, but now he'd be like clean as a whistle. So the scales on this guy will be more of a blocky kind of stone scale. So just to keep my mind on that, do them kind of square. Where this guy's gonna have more of a sharp, and then this guy's more of a, you know. Okay. Whew, this music's intense, dude. This dragon's getting really intense. He's like having nobody mess with him. He's like, I'm taking you all out. Let's have him crushing a dude right here. Blood just shooting everywhere. It's gonna be one gory, very gory drawing. But you know what? I love some gore. Okay. So you can see here we have the water dragon having a little bit more of a scale vibe. I want to have a body ripped in half here too. Like he just bit into it halfway through, and you've got like a body part falling out. They're all terrorizing people. But then I guess it's kind of nice that he's kind of anticipating this attack, while this one has people in his mouth. This one here is like just blew off the head because the magic from the princess stopped it, while this guy is like blowing a cannon that direction too, and he's the hero. He's probably the king or something. Let's see what else then. Have some like slices here that will make it feel like they cut them up a little bit. All right. The tail has got to be drawn, otherwise I'm going to forget to draw that. Let's do a 3-spiked tail in light of the 3-headed dragon. Makes sense. So if you were born in the medieval times, and let's say medieval Europe or whatever, back in the times of this stuff, dragons and stuff, and there was dragons and whatnot, do you think you would excel yourself, knowing your personality, to a point where you become a knight? I mean, I know it was based off of class and all that kind of stuff, but do you think that you would have been like one of those peasant kids and be like, I'm going to be a knight one day or something? Or would you have just been like a cobbler of steel or shoes or something, you know? I would have definitely been more of the Da Vinci character and been like painting the dragons. But like, no, I'm not getting anywhere near that guy. I have a life and I, want to do stuff. So I'll probably be like, I'd wear all that really, really goofy outfits that they wore back in the day. Very fluffy, the big hats and stuff. I would probably die from dysentery, but, one can dream. Okay. Ooh, you'd be a magic person. You'd be like, let me learn that dope magic. For sure. I feel you there. True that. How cool would it be that if magic was real back then, you'd have the opportunity to do it? But it's probably like a hard job to learn magic back in Renaissance days, because one, the materials are probably hard to come by, and two, I wonder if there was like some kind of class system that protected people from just learning it, because why wouldn't anyone want to learn it to get rich or do anything like that? Oh, you'd be a blacksmith, Frozzy? That's the way to go. It's a job that's always necessary in medieval days. For sure. Blacksmiths are dope. Without the blacksmith, we have no knight. Without a good blacksmith, we have pretty much nothing. I feel like all of us should get on a Dungeons and Dragons game and throw down. I would love to see, how it would work out. There probably are local spells. A lot of people don't realize that in England they actually had rules that were played out and actually legalized to prevent magic being used by Christians. See, Christians don't know this because they don't study their history, but there was actually, back in the day, there was black magic and normal things like that, right, being used to locate treasure. So what happened was, after a lot of the pirates and different wars that happened, there was treasure being hidden all over the land of England, right? People would just bury it and hide it, but it would get lost over the next war or the couple decades or so. People wouldn't be able to find it because they would die, and there's no real way to contact and keep in contact with the location of these things, right? So they would find people who knew how to do either dark magic or white magic, and then Christians, actually at the time, or believers in God, would know how to use these rods and sticks and stuff to locate, kind of like finding water, what's that word? Water, little sticks where they put it, and they can find treasure that way. But it got so popular within the community of normal people that they actually had to create a law to prevent people from hiring Christians to do such a thing. Fascinating. I never knew that until this year. Oh no, last year I learned it, and I was like, what? Like, I was never taught this stuff. But yeah, it's kind of fascinating. Those big arms hitting iron all day. Heck yeah, you'd be buff like crazy. Imagine you being a blacksmith hitting iron all day, creating beastly swords and hammers and stuff. So what would be your weapon of choice? What would y'all's weapon of choice be? I think you'd probably be the magician, so you'd probably use a staff, I'd imagine, right? Frozzy sounds like you'd probably use, what would you use? Your weapon would be like what? A big old axe or something? Well, yeah, so Randy, what would you be though? What would you want to be? What would be like your dream position in that time period? Outside of being a king and a prince and all the kind of stuff that, super fantastic. I'd probably be, you know what I would be? I'd be the bow and arrow guy. That's who I would be. I'd be the Legolas character. Oh, Frozzy, I see how you roll. You want to rip and destroy. I get it. You want to be the dude who just tears down taverns, you know? Get really trash drunk and then just battle everybody. I feel you. I feel you. Ooh, a traveling sword for hire. That's cool. The assassin knight. The bounty hunter. That'd be sick. See, if we had a Dungeons and Dragons game going on, we could all have one heck of a good match, you know? Because all of you guys chose different characters. Yeah, we could do it. We could take down the ultimate dragon. I feel like we're missing somebody, though. You got the magician. You have the brute force. You have the knight and noble, or the sword for hire. You have the bow and arrow athletic person. And then, wasn't there one more? Isn't there one more to this whole thing? Magician. What is it? I know there's one more. Well, I feel like the rogue would be the traveling sword for hire, and you know what I mean. It could verge on both in a sense. So Randy would probably be like both a mascot. it's like every video game where you have like some cute little mascot character. No, we can't have a mascot. A bard, yeah. I am curious now. There's got to be one more. I know there's one more. It seems like too much brute force, magic. Maybe that is enough? A priest? A healer. There you go. It's a healer. Now, would the healer be the magician at all? Probably not, right? The healer is like more of like always a healer character in most situations. Like they don't do much fighting, but man, they crucial. I know in every video game, people like overpass I don't know how other people play actually, but I feel the need to overpass the healer, but I always, when I get the healer, it saves my butt every time because they're like, you know, the healing ability, if you master it, it becomes so almost unfair because you can heal them at all times. And taking any hit points would be kind of like pointless and useless at some fights, you know? I like that. The healer's good. It's a good one. I'm drawing way up here. Sorry, guys. You gotta let me know if I'm drawing off page because I can't really tell. So how long have we been drawing tonight? We have been doing a total of... who knows? But we're doing good. We're doing good. I appreciate you guys chatting with me tonight. It's very, very cool. Very fun. Especially with the topic of dragons and lore. I never really talk about this kind of stuff, so it's new to me to have you guys chat with me about this. I hope you guys enjoy the drawing so far. What'd you say? It says healing is duplicating a warrior's because you fix one top line. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, you're right. You're right, it is kind of duplicating because yeah, once you get it, once the person's fixed all up, like yeah, they can be. You could fix up anybody. Yeah, I feel you. Okay, I gotta do these scales real quick. Have you guys ever played Dungeons and Dragons like with a group of people at all? It was actually not in my time period that people played it. It's because that's like kind of an '80s game. But I kind of wish I was, I was a teenager in the '80s because I would have been one of those dudes. But did you guys ever play it? I played once with some people and they hated me because I'm a battery. Come on, Josh. Always forget. Sorry for the lack of visible stuff. Usually I have a commercial break here, but today I don't have it. Okay, coming back online in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. All right, guys. 100% battery, and we're ready to lock and load. Why is it not showing up on my YouTube? Come on, show up. Show up. There we go. Well, that felt like a long time on YouTube. Interesting. Don't worry about it. DW. That's an interesting. Never even seen that before. Who knew? I like that. It's much easier than saying don't worry about it. So when doing scales, one of the tricks that I do for scales is if there's a curvature, like right here, there's this curvature line, right, for his neck. I will do those first, and I will do them at the curvature. You do them smaller, right, because everything's condensed there. And then I will draw a normal size one out here to keep my sizing correct, or at least a little bit more accurate. And that way, whenever I come out of it, I can kind of slowly get bigger to that size that it's requesting. See what I mean? And now they're at full size here. So when you look at it, it looks like it's actually curving. Scales are cool that way because if you ever take if you grab a snake with two hands, and if it's alive, you can squeeze it together and you can see it squirm around, and then you can see the scales condense. It's the best way to really study it. Make sure you have a live snake you can squeeze together, and yeah, it's really fun. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. First of all, I don't want to get sued, and secondly, that's not what I do. I used to be, when I was a kid, I used to hunt snakes because we had so many under these rocks in our house. But like garden snakes and stuff like that, and, water moccasins and stuff. It was terrible. I was a bad person. I used to make them fight each other to the death. But snakes are cool though. I really like snakes. I think they're pretty unique creatures. They have some of the most lore in the world. You know that? In all of the world, snakes and serpents have the most lore than any other creature there is. The second one would be, I think, the ox or the bull or something like that. And then I could be wrong. I don't know the statistics on it, but I do believe serpents are number one because you have the Mayans, you have the Japanese, you have the Asian cultures all together. You have the Europeans, and they all revere dragons and serpents, right? which is dope. I'm over here drawing a blurry video, guys. You gotta tell me if it's blurry. That's probably true. Snakes probably kill a lot of people. You know, in the wilderness, if you ever go hiking, a snake is most likely, or a spider is going to jack you up, dude. Venom. But you know, snakes are actually more scared of people than you think. They don't go out of their way to really hunt you down. There are some accounts in history that people have met dragons, but I don't know if they're like Komodo dragons. Kind of dragons. One story was like some knights were taking a caravan down the street or down the road, and they came across this forest, and they were going through the forest and stuff. But then out of the bushes of the forest came this dragon, the small one, a very tiny one. They were able to slay it, but they just talked about it very nonchalantly, So, and they're like, yes, this dragon came out. It came out aggressive, but it was not very large, so we were able to kill it and move on our way and continue on the way of the mission for the caravan. And they just, it's like a normal thing. So I'm like, what was the dragon they were fighting? And were there dragons? We don't have any physical remains of dragons. That's the problem. We don't have these winged creatures other than dinosaurs. But if dinosaurs were still around in that time period, man, oh man, like that's crazy. That would be nuts. And that's because it's not that long ago. You're talking about the 1100s AD. You're not talking about BC or anything like that, where you have more biblical stories. I wish dragons were real, man. I really do. Really wish dragons were real. Sometimes life is really boring when it comes to like what's actually there. It's all politics, and the closest thing we have to fun stuff is like SpaceX or like futuristic AI taking over, like Terminator, which I'm totally down for, the AI taking over the world and humans having to band together and fight them off. Like, at least we'll be joined together for once. People are like so scared of AI. I'm like, let AI become the Terminator. Let it try to enslave us. Like, let's do this. I've been waiting my whole life to go to Home Depot and pick my weapon of choice, I totally would. This is going to be the most detailed watercolor of anything I've ever done. So good job, Yuko, for really making it tough for me. Let's see how you are. Yeah, so do I, dude. Exploring oceans is cool too, yeah. James Cameron, one of my top dudes, he really explores it well. When down deep in the ocean, you probably know this, Yuko, is that there's these jellyfish that illuminate themselves, even in the midst of a full dark, realm that they live in. And I would love to figure out if there's a way for us to take their genetics and implement it into the human gene so that way we can glow or, kind of do things like that. But also they're able to regenerate, they're able to like live forever because they can actually spawn off new creatures off themselves and regenerate their life and almost live to eternity. I mean, imagine if we could do that. Like, how dope would... I mean, I don't want everyone to live eternity. Some people annoy me, but I'm just kidding. But like, you know what I mean? Like, we could solve so much health issues and stuff if we studied down Earth. And I honestly believe that if we were allowed full range of study on the spiritual realm as well as on the, physical experimentation realm, we could probably solve infinite life and health and cancer and all this stuff, But there's a lot of rules that protect humans from doing such things, which I guess I understand, but I wish I kind of enjoy the idea of like us being a little bit experimental with our human bodies and people signing up like, hey man, I'm about to die, so just use my body as a jellyfish experiment and see if we can get eternal life. Yeah, they can also rebirth, which is crazy. How gnarly is that? That's absurd. There's creatures in this world, like, okay, you ever see those praying mantises that look like flowers? How dope is that? Sorry. Catching a cold right now, I think. Disgusting, Josh. Disgusting. And okay, so they're about to bring back a woolly mammoth, right? You've probably seen the. Oh, I do have to ask you all about something too. LA had this weird fireball come across our sky 2 nights ago, and it was like this falling. It looked like the Transformers were falling from space, but no one knows what it came from. They say it was a satellite burning up into the atmosphere, but there's no confirmation on it. Anyways, I would love to see. I literally got off track on my own story. That's crazy. I would love to see more studies on these fishes and animals that can do all these crazy things, and then implementing with other animals, see if their genes would accept it. Because what we can see through genetics is that the praying mantis. Oh, that's what I was going at. Yeah, was able to adapt itself like a chameleon almost, but not change its colors. Like the chameleon, for example. Like if we could take the chameleon gene and inject it into ourselves and be able to literally turn invisible almost, you know what I mean? Like I can blend in with the paper and everything because my body would recognize white and gray, and this would be clear, so it would turn that color. Like, dude, we could evolve so well. And I wish that would happen, but not in my lifetime, because that's considered, crazy experimentation. Yeah, they said it was dead satellites, Chinese satellite that was falling, but when you look at the video of people recording it, it looks kind of crazy. It looks like, it probably is a satellite, but someone should come up and own it and show footage of it actually crashing. I don't know why there's not cameras attached to satellites to show. That's the problem with our planet, is no one tells the truth, and the people that do tell the truth, you can't believe them because no one shows evidence and stuff. And I just wish they would just show this stuff and let us know we're all human race. We want to be a part of this. We want to encourage. That's why we don't trust anybody, is because no one shows us what's really going on. They're like, well, we don't know. Well, yeah, you do know. Just say it. Like, okay, so it's a Chinese satellite. Who cares it's a Chinese satellite? Do you think we care? What is that? What information is that going to do? Make China look bad? China already looks bad. What are you talking about? Like, we don't have to worry about that. This world is absolutely nuts. Oh, dude, a gorilla. Can you imagine having gorilla strength? When they bring back that woolly mammoth, when they bring that sucker back, I am stoked, because that's going to change the game. Because first of all, woolly mammoths mixing with other elephants, or being a part of this world again. What is that going to do for, I don't know. What is it going to do? I don't know what's going to do. Could be good, could be bad. Sounds fun though. I wish they would bring back dinosaurs altogether. because then it would force technology to develop a little bit higher so to protect us from these creatures. But also make us really have a lot of fun time running away from dinosaurs. I don't know. I'm a little bit of an apocalypse loving dude. The human race is absolutely absurd to me, to tell you the truth. I'm a human, obviously, but not a fan of what we do. We just destroy this planet all over. I'm tired of looking at trash everywhere. You know? I like to go hiking, and then every time I go hiking, I just see plastic and just trash and dead animals, and I'm like, what the hell are we even thinking? We put ourselves so far in front of everything that's important that, you know, we don't even care anymore. But how the current nature adapt to the coming back? Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? That's the thing, is like, I want to see how it adapts. You know, like the dodo. The dodo bird is extinct. And there's a lot of like certain dogs that were in Australia that went extinct. And a lot of animals right now are on the verge of extinction. Darn my pencil. I mean, it could never overpopulate. That's the thing, is the humans don't allow any overpopulation. The only thing that overpopulates the planet is mosquitoes, which should be eradicated altogether. But they probably have a function too that we don't recognize, like killing off species through disease. But I think they just annoy people, honestly. I don't see the purpose of mosquitoes. Ants and every other insect I get, but mosquitoes, no. But the reason why nothing would ever overpopulate is because we have as humans, we have a distinct inability to allow things to overtake because we like to eat it. We're big, hungry people. We are the virus of the planet, where every other creature works in harmony to protect itself in a circle of life. Humans are the only thing that goes outside the circle and says, we're going to screw you over because we want what we want, and we're able to think that way because we have an external mentality of thinking, right? So when we make movies about like us being the virus, it's very true. We are the virus. So when AI realizes that if you want to protect the earth, if you want to, go green, humans have to be eradicated. That is what's, it's the truth. It's just what it is, because we are so independent minded. Yeah, the dodo definitely not as long as the mammoth. But, I think there's tribals, but look at what happened. We killed tribal people. That's the Aboriginals, the indigenous in North America, and even the Chinese and their cultures, and Asia and their cultures. Any kind of tribal community, the last couple tribal communities that live are like the Mongolians or like some Africans in Africa. But even that, they're overtaken by political stuff, because when intelligence comes into play, we give up on protecting life, and we pursue advancing our own life, which means taking the cost of everyone else. And that's where humans fail, We want to dominate. And then, if aliens ever came... Oh, I watched a movie called When the World Stands Still. Yeah, When the Earth Stands Still. It's an old school movie. They recreated it with Keanu Reeves, 2000s, I think. We are paying the price for it, but the price isn't heavy enough. It isn't heavy enough for us to care. That's the problem. We have Greenpeace, we have all these organizations, but look at I don't know if you're in America, but in America, we have all these different political groups that are saying, oh, global climate is not changing and all these kind of things. But then it's like, well, okay, I get if you want to have your own idea, but if scientists, the people that we trust to build your TVs, to build your satellites, to discover new medicines, if they are saying and coming to an average agreement that the climate is changing and breaking down, we probably should take their advice and say, okay, well, you have the scientific proof of it, so how do we change it, But we don't, because we want oil. We want what we want as humans. And, it's not really the fault of humans for that, because that's our nature. That is our nature to want those kind of things. Yeah. It is the ones in the human hierarchy, but the human hierarchy has changed. They don't care anymore. That's the problem. I honestly wish they would care. Saddens me, man. Saddens me a lot. I want people to have dreams and grow and stuff, and it feels like it's being shattered because a couple of hierarchical people want to continue to make their millions of dollars and stuff. And I'm not siding with one political side or the other, Democrat versus Republican. They're both ridiculous. They're both wanting what they want, and they're both going to kill each other in order to get it, which blows my living mind. I don't know. I love history, and the more I study history, the more I see it's never going to stop, because we go back to Dragon Days with knights. What was the knights about? What were the Crusades about? What was this whole hierarchy of a king and queen all about? The monarchy, it's control, and they want what they want, and they'll destroy the world for it. No culture, no country has ever risen above it. Maybe the Swedish. I don't know. But if I was an alien, I wouldn't want to come to this place, that's for sure. Not the planet they should have. We would definitely do experiments on them. We would definitely try to kill them. That's for sure. Oh, sorry guys, I've been drawing on the side of the page. You're right, Khaleesi did want to break the wheel and became the wheel, but that's because she had been so tormented in her journey to break the wheel that she had to become the wheel, right? But she, you know what? I think even if she did break it and didn't kill, like she didn't die, I don't think she would have become the wheel fully, because she had Jon Snow, she had all these other characters that are surrounding her that she trusted, that she would eventually probably have woken up and go, okay, I probably should let go of this and that and this and this. Whereas Cersei, she was ruthless. She would just take down anybody for the cause of taking out anybody. The wheel, I don't know. I mean, but the wheel would always come back, even because with the moment that Khaleesi did die, it'd be game over, right? Her children would become the wheel, or it's always going to be inevitable, because humans are the problem. Sorry to sound like so I don't know, negative, but I mean, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We still get to live our lives. We still get to have fun and enjoy. Look at this. We're on YouTube drawing dragons and talking about this stuff in a free state. That's pretty amazing. Oh gosh, I just hit my mic. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sorry that you had to probably go through that. I understand that. I definitely understand that. So I've been to a country called North Korea, and they are known for being someone who's like very dictator and controlling and stuff like that. And I had to give up my ego when I went there, because I thought that like, oh, I'm an American, I have a better understanding of the world and all this stuff. But when I went there, Actually, I learned that they have a very good understanding of the world. Um, what we see on the news and all this kind of stuff is just played out by the American propaganda, stuff like that, and just the news needing good stuff. But their mentality is actually like they're trying their best to create a world that isn't attached to all the technology and all this kind of stuff that would, they feel is like corruptive to the society and the world. But of course, they have leader issues and they have problems, and their poverty issues are very strong. But it's just weird to be there and see a different side of the story, and realize like, oh, like, man, I'm so ignorant in so many different fashions because I thought, oh, I'm American. We know the best because we're a free country and all this kind of stuff. And they're like, well, we get that you're American and it's cool, but we protect each other as a community, and we all strive to work together without making deals with other countries that cost lives of soldiers and all that kind of stuff like that. Because if you realize, North Korea's soldiers don't go to war with any other country, right? Like, they don't go out there and fight with other countries when they go in conflict, so they don't lose their soldiers. Their soldiers are only defense mode for their country, because they're super afraid of America trying to come over and take over their country, which they should be very much so afraid of that, because that's what we do as Americans. We go to other countries and we ask for their oil. We don't even ask. We just take their oil and we demand certain things, and all kinds of different things. But yeah, losing the ego, it's an interesting thing, because the more I think people travel, they learn that, like, well, what I was just talking about. Oh yeah. Oh, my job here in Los Angeles is working with the homeless. my best friend here in LA is he when I met him, he was considered a man experiencing homelessness, and that's been my whole job, actually, working with homeless. I've been homeless. I've been homeless twice. But yeah, actually, homeless people are actually interesting, because if they're not on drugs, you know what I mean? If they're not like psychotic, they often have a lot of good information, because they're struggling so hard with trying to figure out why the world works the way it does, and yet they're in the situation they're in. I've learned so much. This one guy always comes up to me. I thought about him the other day, named Dollar Bill Will. Dollar Bill Will. His name was William, but fantastic man. But he had so much wisdom. So much wisdom. Really enjoyed that guy. I hope he's doing well. I don't know where he's at. He was in Texas, so I hadn't seen him in quite some time. Homeless people are the best. They're my friends. Love them all. Actually, I should call one up tomorrow. I'm going to do that tomorrow. I haven't talked to one of my buddies in a while. He's a good guy. I remember being homeless at 21 years old. 22? Was it 22? I don't remember. Nomads of the day, that's for sure. Well, it depends on what location you're in, because some of them are nomads, some of them are just crackheads, and that's just fact. Because in LA, drugs are so easy to access. There's a lot of people who just are homeless because they like to be around the drug scene and they enjoy it and they just don't want to get out. That's just sadly true. And they're not very friendly either, but we try. Yeah, taking people away from the streets is very hard. I was on the streets. I used to like sneak into people's garages and like their townhouse little closet rooms and sleep in there. And if not, I would sleep by the bayou. And I remember nights just being eaten up by mosquitoes by the bayou. But then it was a couple of nights I got chased by coyotes. Man, that's terrifying. Waking up with a whole bunch of eyes looking at you, and you're like, "What the hell?" Like right across the street, the stream of water. I'm like, "Oh my god." The life of being homeless compared to where I'm at, now is insane. So I'm very thankful. I'm blessed to be where I'm at. But the only reason why I got out of it was because I wanted to travel, honestly. I didn't like not having money. And the only way for me to get out was to have money, was to like stop being homeless and like really like push myself. So I luckily I slept in a cardboard box, and my friend's he had this sketchy place in the ward in Houston, and I slept in this cardboard box. They let me sleep near it, which was thank God. But I got a job at Whole Foods, and if it wasn't for that job at Whole Foods, man, who knows where I would be. But I would get out of the box, and I'd go get dressed and clean up, and he would let me use their bathroom and stuff, and I would take a bus over to the Whole Foods and work until I got enough money, and I got out of that crap. But a lot of people I know don't get out of it because it's once you're in that lifestyle of hustle, it's just life. You know what I mean? You like the struggle. You love the difference of the day. You love what's going to happen and what's not going to happen. Yeah, the nights are cold. Yeah, it's rainy. Yeah, you don't know where you're going to sleep at night. Yeah, you got to worry about getting attacked or stabbed or even physically, hurt. And for females, that's really dangerous. But you have to worry about these things. But then that becomes part of like an essence of life. So I understand how it's hard to get out of that. And then if you throw drugs in it, those people who give you those drugs are your community. And then it's just double the difficult, But, it's part of the reason why I want to do this channel on religion, is because I'm trying to teach my religious friends that they're the ones who should be doing these jobs of helping people get out of these situations and not judging them. I worked for churches, and one of my last jobs here in LA was for a church, and it just made me super sad that these pastors and these religious people were stepping over homeless people that were sleeping in front of their door so they can go to work and get their paycheck. But they didn't want to sit there and give them water. They wouldn't help them out. And I was blown away by this, and I was like, something's got to change. So I confronted the whole church about it, and then they fired me for it. So that's why I'm kind of really hyper extensively strong about I'm sorry about that, Yuko. Yeah, mental illness on the streets is heavy, and fear and responsibility and stuff like that comes strong with people trying to get out of that situation, especially with family members. I have some friends that there's children that are on the streets right now, and they don't know what to do because their kids are just addicted to heroin, and they're trying their best to get them back, and they even they can't do it. It's their kids are like they're like 30 something years old and still just can't do it. Yeah, the church. No, that's what made me sad, was that the church. It was a church. The church I worked for was called Reality LA in Los Angeles, and they absorbed a small church called the Hope Center, or the Hope Church. And the Hope Church was actually built off of a bunch of rehab people and people who were on drugs and who were in jail and all this kind of stuff. And they made the church into a rehab program and a food program for the community who were homeless. But whenever they couldn't afford to keep it maintaining, so they kind of sold it to this church called Reality LA, the church that I got hired in on. So when they did, I started going down there to work with the homeless community instead of being the designer for the church. And what I realized was like, oh, I thought this church was about like helping people and stuff like that, but it wasn't. It was actually about just promoting the pastors, the all-white pastors, the 5 pastors that were just. It was ridiculous. They would not let any ethnicity have any kind of say in anything, and then they would never come down to the homeless shelter that they absorbed, the church that they absorbed, and help out. They would never do it. Only to come down there to Instagram story themselves, like, oh, look at what we're doing. It's the church. And I'm like, you're not doing anything. It's the volunteers and the homeless that are actually volunteering and doing work to help each other and cook the food and do all the stuff and the rehab. Like, you guys are doing nothing. And so I confronted them so much about it that they just terminated me. And then they, like, it was ridiculous. It was a huge thing. Oh, no. They wouldn't do that. They would ask, you know how churches run. They asked the congregation to donate for the homeless, and this church that they have, they absorbed, and they would use that money to actually pay themselves these $100,000 paychecks, salaries, but then use very little to help the program run. And then if people, the homeless community didn't accept it, they wouldn't accept them there, you know. It was very strange. It was, and then like there was a dude there that he built the whole church for the homeless community and the rehab program, and they terminated him because he was asking them, the pastors that absorbed it, to come down and be like, hey guys, I know you guys are, you know, like your Reality LA pastors, but you need to come down and help out the Hope Center. Like, I can't do this by myself. If you're going to make me do all these like activities by myself, I need your assistance. And they're like, well, you know, that's not our job. That's literally what they said. It's not our job to go down and help these homeless people. I got so mad at them. I was so mad. So me and this gentleman, we would just confront them on these things. And they got so mad eventually that they created this document of like lies to get to fire the pastor. And then they made a document for me based off of lies. And I even took that document of like these 10 accusations, submitted to HR with proof of all the people that were a part of the Hope Center that knew me. And they validated that these things were lies. And the church said, okay, well, you have to send it to the board, right? And so I was like, okay, well, let me send this document to the board, you know, because the pastors are lying and they're taking money. They're doing all these things, right? And you know what? You know who the board is made up of? Those pastors. So when I sent this document to the board, which was, the board is supposed to be meant of people that are outside the pastors to keep the pastors accountable. But when I sent it to the board, the person who called me was one of the pastors. He goes, hey Josh, why did you send this to us? And what do you mean? I didn't send it to you. I sent it to the board. And he's like, I am the board. I'm like, what the hell? You're the one I'm accusing. I was like mind blown, dude. Mind blown. So I knew then, I was like, oh man, I've been working for a corrupt church this whole time and I've been duped, you know. I had such high hopes because there are some good employees there. There were some good employees there, but they're also protecting their paychecks because this church was a LA church, you know, Los Angeles, and they just want things to be hip and cool, and they think they're corporate and stuff like that. So, you know, it was a big lesson for me. It was a huge lesson for me because I was raised as a worship kids pastor. I never really agreed with the church my whole life because I grew up with a lot of like insight in how the church runs, so I never really agreed, but I did see one thing. The one thing I saw as a kid, and even I see today, is that people who do subscribe to a religion, and especially the Christian religion, is that they're attracted to the idea that Jesus Christ was this character that broke the mold of hierarchy and rule to be someone loving. But the problem is they followed too much of the Bible's like false creation and started creating their own doctrine to benefit their own lives. None of them would ever give up their shirts or their pants to a homeless person, you know. Oh, it's okay, Daniel. I'm sure you know these stories. I'm just telling it to people who want to hear about why, this stuff happened. But hey, have a good night. Get some good rest. And keep doing what you do. Daniel's a very amazing person. Met him a few years back, and He's probably one of the smartest guys I know and most loving people I've ever met. So, but I'm not trying to talk bad about Christianity. What I'm trying to say is that there are organizations and things that happen that shouldn't happen. And my situation specifically, was a Christian organization that didn't help out the homeless and made kind of it still uses the homeless situation to benefit their own good, which is something I've been fighting with on Instagram, because they have an Instagram and stuff like that for about a year or so. And even today I got called a fool and Satan and all these kind of things, because a lot of my Christian friends think that because I ask questions about the Bible and bring up topics that are very conflicting to what they've learned, they think I'm the son of Satan. So very interesting. But this does not mean, if you're a religious person, if you believe in any kind of faith or even a Christian, that I'm against you. That's not what I'm doing here, guys. That's not what I'm doing. I believe you have the free will and right to believe and serve however you serve, but we should fight for justice. That's the one thing we should do, and that's what I'm fighting for with my religious content. And that's why I wanted to draw biblical stuff, is so I can talk about the accuracy of certain biblical things, and so that way people who are believers who might be a little bit warped into churches that they feel like, oh, okay, maybe the church isn't teaching me what I need to learn, I can give them that information. But I'm not here to convert anybody. I'm not here to do that kind of stuff. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Frozzy, what'd you say? Man, that made me just so fresh. Oh, man, orphanages? Dude, they're bad. I did not know orphanages were so bad. I visited a couple too, and everyone that I visited, oh my gosh, they're so corrupt. It's insane. I thought orphanages were supposed to be the good guys and all this stuff, but no, they're private owned, and the more kids you get and the more you can kind of pawn them off, it's crazy. I did not know this was a thing. A lot of these organizations run like that. Holy cow, it blows my mind. Absolutely insane. Well, I'm sorry that you had that, because I don't understand why orphanages are that way. Makes me really sad. These kids don't have family members. They don't have parents. They have to struggle with feeling abandoned. And yet, the people that are leading them are taking their finances and using them for labor and stuff and mistreating them. My gosh. Oh yeah, they're terrified. These kids are terrified. Absolutely terrified. I remember being one in Korea. I thought it was a really nice one in Korea. Nope. These kids were terrified out of their minds. You're right, Outcast still remains. 2024, 2024, that's what year we're in. We should have flying cars and hoverboards, and yet we're having still issues with the same of 1903 or 1865, where kids are being, adopted kids are being abused and mistreated. That's wild. Where's the decency? Okay, I need to draw some of these other details in first. Let me get this in. Anyways, it got really negative all of a sudden. I feel like the homeless situation kind of put me on a negative route of speaking. I apologize, viewers. I don't mean to speak ill of anybody's thoughts and beliefs. That's not what I was trying to do. Just saying that, there should be more justice in the world, and I want to fight for justice with my art somehow. Don't really know how, but I think by producing a Bible with drawings and stuff like that, it might help out. Kind of build a more creative perspective of what could happen. that's my story. I hope other people take their own situation and draw it out and be artists about it. Same. I'm trying to read P. Garza. Hold on. Same. Not really sure what you're saying, P. Garza. Says I was going to apply to Hands a Poster. Hands of Life. I don't know. Should you? I mean, unemployed is always a negative view, right? Hey, being close to homeless or being homeless is not a good thing. I don't think it was so hard. My buddy who's homeless, he was out there for 15 years, and I had to work so hard to convince him. I was like, man, I know you're used to this world, but this is not the world you want. It's not what you desire. Working for the government or business of the world and how the things work is not a bad thing, because we all do it, but we still have our lives and stuff. So, yeah. Hey, writing them in your stories, Frazi, is a fantastic way, a real fantastic way of helping out. It's when we lose heart in doing things is when I think that's when we have to redesign our thought processes and stuff. But I'm not perfect either, man. I'm selfish at times. I don't want to help. You know when you drive up again and there's someone asking for money with change and stuff, I don't give them change. I'm going to be honest with you straight up. I don't give them change. I'll give them food. I'll give them water. But when I was homeless, the change was always used for drugs. It just always was. And I would use it. My friends would use it. That was kind of the scam. When I was in Hawaii, a lot of them, that's what they would do. They go buy alcohol and stuff. And that's their choice. But it's better for them to get sober and think about what they have to do with their day than keep on buying from the same dealer who's making money off of them being homeless and being subject to, wanting drugs from them all the time, because that's how they make money. So I feel like giving them cash most of the time. Now, if you see a family on the street, that's different. You know what I mean? But you can discern to a point of who's going to use the money well or not, or if they're lying. Yeah, well, in other countries for sure. In other countries, being homeless is almost like normal life, so it's different. But I'm talking about America. I remember being in the Amazon, and there was a couple. There was a man and a female, and the female was she's a big girl, and he was a kind of a scrawny guy, and they were sitting on the corner in one of these small towns, and they weren't asking for money, really. Actually, they were just doing almost living homeless and stuff. And I had walked by them a couple times, and I finally went up to ask them what was going on. And while we were talking, in the middle of it, the guy was doing a drug deal. Some guy came up to him and gave him a little bag of heroin and stuff. And I was like, dude, I'm trying to help you out. You don't think that's a little weird that you're just going to, I know that now that you're going to use it for drugs. But then what happened was, I was like, you know what, I gave the lady a hug. And I was like, I just want to say that I love you. You're fine. Do what you do. She hadn't felt interaction from another human being other than that guy who was there, her husband or whatever. And she started crying because she felt like the world had neglected her for so long. She didn't understand why people didn't want to help her out in their situation. She didn't see that it was because of the drugs. Her mentality didn't allow her to see that, but what she had built in her mind, the narrative, the story that she built in her mind was that no one loved her because she was homeless. And, you know, it was just mind-blowing. I was given homeless money and anything I would have, and have an officer I was... Oh yeah, well, yeah, I get that, P. Garza. Money is fine to give if you feel like they need it and stuff. They can use it. But I worked with plenty of homeless ministries and organizations and nonprofits throughout my life, and money isn't the thing that usually helps. It's the number one thing that does help is a friend. Not money, not food, a friend. Because they don't have a community of positivity usually. They themselves are destructive to themselves. That's why they're in the place that they're in. And they themselves do not have a way to release the thoughts that that dwell in their mind. Oh, I wish I could live in a world without money too. Yeah, the woman, she was so sweet. I hope they're doing good. I have a video of them. I actually have footage of them because we filmed it. I made someone film it because I was so mad at the ministry I was with. I was in the Amazon with a Christian organization that was, man, I don't even want to get into that. That's going to sound like I hate Christians or something. Because, anyways, I was like, you guys are missing the mark. Like, you don't understand anything. You're just condemning people. And the couple that I was talking to, I was like, please record it, so I didn't know what they're saying in Brazilian or in Brazilian Portuguese, Portuguese. And so we recorded it, and they allowed me to record it. I was like, hey, do you mind? Like, I just need to know what you guys are saying. I don't have an interpreter really well. But then what I did have, the interpreter did explain some stuff when he came, and maybe I should show the footage, but she broke down so heavy. It's still one of those moments in my life that I will always reflect to, going, I can't ever judge a book by its cover. I can never really say I know everything about the situation, because everyone's situation is different. But nonetheless. Just he is so to gratitude. Yeah. Once you're homeless, dude, it's hard. It's really hard. It's hard to get back on your feet and mentally and really restructure your life back to serving the community by working and getting a 9-to-5 and stuff like that. Like, that's so hard. Especially when you're used to this really wild hustle and making friends in a different pattern. But not all homeless actually need to be, put back into the society. Some homeless actually enjoy it and actually thrive in it in a good way too. So that's another thing people don't realize, is that there are some people who are experiencing homelessness that actually enjoy it because it's a freedom thing. It's not usually not when they have families or something like that. But if they're single and stuff, they actually find a lot more life out of it. And that's kind of part of their job. So when they ask for money, so that's part of their job. That's part of their connection to the world. So helping them is like, they'll be like insulted. And I've tried to help people, and they're like, dude, I don't need that help. Like, that's not, you think that I want to get out of this. This is just what I like. I enjoy the freedom of nomad lifestyle, and stuff. Yeah. Won't go physical, like throwing a punch. Yeah. It's weird. It's a weird world. I had to, someone I know was working for a company organization that was like, all homeless should have houses. And I was telling them, and I told them over and over, it won't work because not all homeless people want houses. Like, you don't get it. Like I didn't want to have a property I paid for when I was homeless. You know, I enjoyed the scavenging around for a place like a little nook, you know, and stuff like that. Like, it's not going to work. And if you give me a house, what am I going to use it for? I'm going to use it for doing drugs. I'm going to use it for doing all these bad things. Like, that's the likelihood is right there. So, but some organizations, I just don't think they actually study the situation. I think they just go in thinking they're going to help people, and they don't really care for the people. They care for them looking good about how they help the people. Yeah, but I never like to see people out in the streets like that, especially when it's cold and it's rainy and stuff like that. It's like, hey, I know you want a warm bed and shower and stuff. Nomad, my savage ways. I would love to spend a year out in nomading in like the forest, like a national forest or something like that, with the animals and stuff. Like, that's always been kind of a dream of mine, to like live amongst like the nature and just like build a shed, build something out of my own hands with clay and, you know, wood, and then, you know, build a fire every day and stuff. I think that'd just be rad to do, but I can't do it obviously now that, you know, I'm married and stuff. But I should have done that when I was younger. But Texas doesn't have that opportunity. Texas is hot and humid and freaking desert, so, or swamp, and did not foster that idea, you know. Yeah, man, this went crazy off the rails from dragons to homeless talk. Good grief. Oh, I'm gonna block it out with black ink. But the reason why I'm shading them in right now, Yuko, is that um, you know what I mean. Like, I'm talking, so I'm not really thinking of what I'm doing, but I'm also trying to just detail the areas that I know I need to start inking. Because what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to go back with an eraser and roll this out, and I'm going to erase everything. It's all going to be erased when I ink, because I don't want the graphite to get on my pen. But the reason why I'm shading it in right now is because I want a picture to be fully detailed, and then I want to take a photo of it to kind of show the progress of this. Yeah, I know they're important to have, and I thank you guys for listening about the homeless situation and some of the situations I've been in, as well as you guys have been in, and I'm very sorry for that, and thank you for responding so well about the topics. But I should stay away from them and talk about drawing stuff. It's YouTube, you know what I mean? I just don't know what I'm going to get flagged for and stuff. Anyways, back to the shading. I'm shading in these areas right now because the more I shade and create contrasts and whatnot in certain areas, it gives me, it builds my imagination and encouragement to continue detailing this drawing. So if I left it all bland colors, and let's say tomorrow comes around and I don't go to sleep, I go to sleep and I wake up in the morning, and I see it's just like all sketched out, I will feel overwhelmed with the idea that I have to know where I have to darken stuff and ink stuff and all that kind of stuff. So I know myself well enough to know it's like, hey, let's start drawing, let's start detailing, let's start doing certain sections. And then let's say I just do this section, the cool stuff, the real cool stuff, like the heads, all the heads, and then some of the characters down here. Then all this other stuff here doesn't feel like a duty to me. It feels like, oh, it's just filling it in. It's just filling in the rest. And I've got half of it already filled in anyways. You know what I mean? Like the wing is a little daunting for me to think about because I want to detail the wing well. But because it's behind the heads, I think I might have to force myself to simplify it so that the watercolors allow depth with the heads coming out, because the more contrast is going to be on the heads, then we go back. The further back is going to be lighter colors and more unsaturated. So, I didn't read this last. Do you have any tips on making my line work and shading better? You're always just turn out really well, and mine never turn out that clean. Mine seems to be a bit scratchy. I guess that's because so with artists, a lot of the time, just let you guys know, the reason why I always tell this to people too, because it's a technique thing that you may do and you don't realize that you're doing, because so my buddy does it too. This thing, let's say I'm drawing a what could this be? A nose. Let's say this is a nose. You see what I'm doing right now? I'm not really lifting up my pencil. I'm kind of scratching, and I'm drawing like this. Wait, can you see that? Hold on. Yeah, so this is my process. Actually, Yuko put up a thing in my Discord, which will kind of explain the same thing. Like, that drawing that you put up was very clean and very, very nice. Good job, great job, fantastic. Your autumn colors are awesome, and your line work and your characters, proportions, and everything on point. But a lot of my artist friends will do this. You see how I'm kind of scratching, and you see like these little extra lines that are hanging off and stuff like that, right? So one of the tricks is if you could either draw it in pencil first, the scratchiness, if you're used to that design, and then go over ink, but you don't want to do that. You want to come through with a straight line, and where that bend is, come out. Where that bend is, come out. Where that bend is, come down. And I'm not connecting it. I don't have to connect it yet. Okay? The whole idea is to make more of a anime line style, right? Like, as you're going to be cleaning up. And then here you can bend it and just keep those lines nice and clean. And then they can form out. And whenever you want to shade, you could just darken it in and then shade. But make sure you don't leave anything untouched. Patience is a thing too. If you're looking to do shading lines like comic book, you want to follow through with your lines and make sure you feather them out correctly. And it's a practice thing. But a lot of people will draw like this, and they'll continue to draw like that and wonder why it's not clean. And it's because they don't ever pick up their pencil or their pen. And it's better to do pencil work like this and then erase some of the pencil work and then follow through with just straight lines. Just don't even pick it up and then come through, you know? Let's say I was going to draw a medieval helmet. I could do it like this. And this is me being, you know, real kind of just playing with it and drawing, and I'm kind of get it. This is Magneto, I guess. Apparently it's Magneto. Sorry, I thought it was a knight. Let's just say that. Well, I mean, it looks kind of sloppy. But if I drew that in pencil and I went back over it, I would come up with a straight line. I would do my best to follow that line. Right? And then I'd come up. And then what happens is, even if the lines aren't even perfect, see how like sketchy that was? Because I know that there's a dark area, I can fix that area and just blacken it out. The thing is, you got to be confident in your blacks, and then people don't know your mistakes. People don't have any idea. But see, if I left all that kind of like spacey, eventually if you do that enough, it's going to look a little janky. So fill those little spots in, be confident in your lines, and leave clean lines at the end, and then you will be left with something more, you know. But you don't have to draw every line either. You can leave spaces in lines, and it will still tell the story. Yeah. P. Garza says, as you were once homeless, a lot exploration of how to use all that to your artistic detail. What you seen and use for art is life. Yes, you're right. What are you? Yeah, exactly. The things that you experience in life is what you put into your art. And I don't know if this answered your question, guys. But scratchiness is due to patience and you wanting to create your drawing faster. Usually you're wanting to put down information that you have in your mind real quick, because what a lot of people do, and what I did a lot of this. I'll use Dragon Ball Z for example. I'm going to go through a real quick process of my mind. Oh, here's an example right here. If I'm doing Dragon Ball Z and let's say I'm doing his arm, I'm thinking like, oh, he was strong. He's about to do this Kamehameha blast, and his arm was tensed up. So his arm was doing this, and I had this going, and his arm was like this, and then, his hand, I've got to create his hand here, and wait, can't even see it. Darn it. And then I have his muscle here and his biceps, boom, boom, boom. Oh yeah. And then comes in and hand, fingers, and thumbs here, and then all right, and his muscles here. I know that muscle's there. This is his arm, yeah. But yeah, this looks scratchy. It looks scratchy because my brain is overpowering the concept of what I should be drawing. I'm translating my emotions over to this when I should be taking it and going, okay, his shoulder was this way. I should be slowing down. And then whenever I do it, I should be making these smooth lines that are connecting and then following along a structure, right, of muscle versus being too emotional with our drawings, because we draw because we're emotional. We have this thing in our head that we want to put on paper, but what we don't realize is that if we did do that, it becomes not what we want. It becomes something what our brain is trying to autocorrect in a sense. So that's why they teach you in school to build out blocks and stuff like that, so that way you don't allow your brain to override logical, what actually gets put on the page, because other viewers won't see what you see. Even if you did draw this and you felt like it was okay, you're still looking at this from the imagination that you have, but I as the viewer am expecting this. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Yeah, blocking in is a really cool trait. If you're going to... So I learned from one guy, and he taught me stuff like, if I was going to block in a face, let's say that this is the face, real quick tutorial. Okay, see, I even did the sketchy thing too. I'm going up to clean up my lines right afterwards. So let's say this is the face. And, okay, he's an anime character, so let's give him spiky hair. All right, let's give him some ears real quick. Okay, so if I wanted to make this better right away, I could just start drawing the eyeballs and then the nose and then the mouth. Or I could blur my vision a little bit and look at the shadows of what it's going to produce, because shadows, nothing exists without light, right? But shadows create depth. So if I was going to create the right shadows, I'm imagining light from here or here. Let's say the light's from over here. Okay. I'm going to imagine there's going to be a light, dark shadow here. Here's his eye. His nose comes down. Okay. Got a little bit of nose curvature. Nose, mouth. Got the line for the mouth. Comes down and then like this. The light's coming here. So for this one, I need to come here. Create the light here. And then his hair will have a line because the light's coming from that direction. Maybe a little bit of difference there. And so now I have this shadow, okay? Now, if I want to put his eyeballs in there, I can make his eyes visible, right? I could do that. But then, after that, once you shade that in, which I probably wouldn't even show his eyes that much, honestly. once you do that, you get a whole different vibe, right? And then if you darken this line right here that goes from the shadow line to there, it starts to merge into realism. That's what realism is based off of, is the occlusion of light and ambient light and stuff like that. And so here there's another shadow because it's going that way. And then up here the hair can go into shade as well. Okay. Exactly, Yuko said it right there. Big shapes, medium shapes, and then details. So then now that I have the shadow taken care of, I don't have to worry about anything else. Now I can start placing objects where they should be. I can start doing details here for his nose. I can start doing wrinkles in his head. I can do veins and whatever I want to do, right? I can maybe do a shadow here for his mouth, even get his mouth even further. I can even increase that darkness of his mouth. And then I can put details in here. I can, right? And then I can put the muscles here because now I have his shadows. But because there's shading, I have this, see this line ends here. Well, that means the shadow of his chin, because there's a throat, can go here. And I can just start shading that junk in. Okay, does that make sense? Big shapes, medium shapes, and then details. And you can go all the way to real detailed if you want to, and really just get in there and start shading more. Because once you have a flat color, also once you have these different tones, you have 1, 2 tones, right? Right now we had 1 and 2. I can start making a third one, and then a fourth tone in the color, in the shading. So the grays and the blacks can go deeper and deeper, and that's what you want to build off of. And you do have to train your mind to kind of see that way. Yeah. But it's true. Yuko said it right. Start big. Start blur your eyes and just start with the image and the shapes, and then you can start condensing down, and things will start to look the way you actually want them to look. If you go straight in and start like, I'm going to start detailing and drawing right away, it gets out of proportion real quick. Even I get out of proportion. That's why you saw me draw the heads first. If I didn't draw these heads first, this dragon would look goofy as crud, man. It would look goofy. But now we have a pretty sick drawing. I probably won't shade in this part. Oh, I mean, I'm shading it right now. What an idiot. Look at that. I'm just being super controversial. But I probably won't shade it in. Yeah, turning into shapes is not easy. It's not an easy thing because your brain doesn't really function that way. Look up a guy. I don't know if he would help you. His name is Scott Waddell. He's on YouTube right now too, I think. I'll write his name right here. Scott Waddell. He's an oil painter actually, and I actually purchased this classic cat on sale, but I think he gives you the information for free on YouTube. But he teaches how to start an oil painting. But one of his techniques to start the oil painting is blocking in shadows and lights and understanding what's most important to get your proportions actually 100%. And he does it in a very, very kind Bob Rossi way. And out of all my art teachers and people I've ever had, he taught me the best because it kind of made sense the way he taught it. I recommend him, but I'm sure there's other artists out there on YouTube that would teach you. So, oh my gosh, we've been on here for like 3 hours, guys. How y'all gonna let me be here for 3 hours? I've been chatting with y'all for 3 hours. We talked about our lives. We talked about homelessness. We talked about dragons and games. My gosh. I'm gonna have to call y'all family. Okay, I gotta walk my dog. Shoot, I did not believe it was almost midnight here. Wow. All right, so this is the start of Zmei. It's gonna be Zmei. You know that song? No? Okay. Sorry, I got weird. It's a long night. Anyways, I want to say, yeah, I'm glad that I'm having fun. This is super fun. You only thought it was, yeah, real funny, Frozzy, real funny. Only 10 minutes. 10 minutes, my butt. There's no way. Anyways, Pigarza, Randy, Frozzy, Yuko, anyone else who's listening, you guys are amazing. I really had fun. Tonight was really fun. I really appreciate the, wow, it was a very fun night. It feels like I get to jump on live stream with you guys and ladies and stuff and chat about stuff that I care about. I think hopefully you guys care about too. And sorry about the dark, like, you know, homeless ministry thing and stuff like that, and religion. But expect, you know, some religion, some lore stuff and mythology and, you know, weird stuff. You know, this is a place I want it to be safe. I want people to be able to express themselves. So I hope it didn't, you know, feel too revealing or anything like that. But also, I hope it also showed a really cool drawing of a dragon, because life is all about breathing fire and chopping off heads and fighting knights. But I'm going to end it here because A, I have to use the restroom really bad, and B, this is the longest live stream I've done so far, and it was really fun, and I can't have too much fun for one night. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. I hope you'll have a great night. Hope the drawing tips that everyone kind of input in, you know, Yuko, thank you for some of those inputs and stuff like that. And we could get better together, because we all definitely need to get better. I'm sure. I know I do. And if you have any questions, you know, you can ask me on Discord. Yeah, that's it. I don't know what else to say other than if you're a creative, go create. And yeah, Picar's like, I was quiet. Sure. Y'all have a good night and do what y'all do. Excited to see some of y'all's drawings. If you want to post more on the Discord, please do. I want to see stuff and we can chat about it. We can all encourage each other. So don't be afraid. Have a good night and see y'all tomorrow. Oh, I want to see what you're drawing, Frozzy. So post that thing. Adios, guys. Peace.